Hey, it's Steve here from CTheLatest, the latest in gaming, science, and technology. Let's get started. Seen 4K TVs for the last 2 to 3 years in CES, and now they're finally being cheap enough so people can afford them. Now, the thing is about shooting content. So, today, now, previous alternatives, Canon had an alternative, as you can see. This camera is almost $50,000. Wow. So, obviously, we needed a cheaper way to record 4K. Sony came up with this one. $9,000. Wasn't too bad. But again, it wasn't in that price range where everyone was ready to buy it. Especially people who just record home movies. And, if they wanted, better definition, then obviously they'd want 4K. But, these cameras are so expensive. So, today at CES, Sony came out with a 4K camcorder for only $2,000. Wow. Seriously, a 60 FPS camcorder. It's a handy cam, so it obviously doesn't have any of the sort of functions you'd find on a DSLR, like not that much. But um, the thing is that I really love about this, that it is going to record to internal storage and not have any other, because most cameras need an external storage. If you want to record 4K, they require you to have external storage. Now that is no more the case because this camera does not require external storage. Next news is that YouTube embeds 4K. It's always 4K, 4K, 4K in this world of tech, I guess. But YouTube has recently embedded 2160p or 4K into its settings icon. So if you now look on a 4K video, so let's look up on YouTube 4K video, and you'll be able to see that YouTube has actually embedded 4K into its settings toggles. Obviously, many people are still adapting to 1080p, and this is one big problem, and that's the internet. The internet is great. It's a way for us to transfer media, consume media. It's great, but the problem is, uploaders will face great difficulty. But that doesn't really matter because, you can leave it overnight to upload and that doesn't... Now, downloaders will also be now facing difficulty. Whereas I used to be able to download 1080p footage without any buffering, additional buffering required. I now am not able to download 4K footage unless the footage is located close to me. That is, in the Sydney data centre in Australia. This means that if the content is not popular enough and it's in the US and yet it's still 4K, I won't be able to stream it. So, it's kind of a bummer. But again, I don't have any sort of 4K displays or TVs yet. So obviously, it's not really going to be that bad. But some people in the United States are now complaining because their internet is so bad that they're complaining for an infrastructure upgrade because it's not, it can't handle 4K properly. So that's a big problem with 4K, especially like now. So I'll just go on to the next piece of news. Next piece of news is that gamers have a new option when it comes to the PS4. So PS4 there's an initiative, it's an idea that they'll offer online streaming of games. I'm not really sure what it's called, but they will, basically what they'll do is they'll render everything on their server and they'll basically stream it to you just like any other YouTube video, except the video will be basically 3D. It'll be like Google Street View if you know what that is. So, every single frame will pretty much be rendered by the server, and it'll be a good experience. Thanks for watching Tech, guys. Let's go on to science. Welcome to CTheLatest. Up this week, tigerfish snatch birds, Niagara Falls freeze, and a biofuel bug is discovered to reduce fuel consumption. Let's get started. Freaking freshwater tigerfish have been rumored to jump from the water and snatch flying birds. But the rare act has been caught in a film for the first time ever in a video recently uploaded to YouTube. A team of researchers caught the moment at South Africa's Mapungubwe National Park near the border with Botswana in Zimbabwe. I see this as another step towards breeding or, helping out those fish. Because, now that we know what habitat they sort of live in, we can predict their movements, and not only their movements, but, what sort of habitat they would prefer. This quote sums it up beautifully. The first reaction was one of pure joy, because we realized that we were spectators to something really incredible and unique. It was said by Nia Smith, director of the Unit for Environmental Science and Management at Northwest University in Southern Africa. Niagara Falls. It's been rumored to freeze for quite a few years, legend has it, but even this year, Niagara Falls hasn't frozen over, but it has become a bit of an icy spectacle, thanks to a blast or Arctic wind that cold that blew around and froze mist on surfaces and landscaping. Despite the urban legends, Niagara Falls doesn't freeze solid in the winter, tourism officials say. It's a scene that has been absent during the last several winters, which have been relatively mild. Now, this winter, it's not really that mild, so maybe we will see a freeze. Who knows? The cold has even brought return to the ice bridge, an occasional formation of ice that stretches across the Niagara River, below the falls, linking the United States and Canada. Until 1912, tourists were allowed to walk on the bridge to look at the falls below. But that ended when the bridge broke apart and 3 people were killed. Researchers have found a bug which, when used in biofuel, could work 3 times more efficiently than its conventional counterpart, the CTheL7A. In terms of costs, heat tolerance is important, and with these new bugs found in an exotic valley of geysers in far eastern Russia, they have the innate ability to withstand high temperatures. It thrives in hot water, as in 75 to 90 degrees Celsius. This is amazing, because then they can actually live in the conditions that they are given to live. The combustion processes in a car run very hot, and therefore these bugs need to survive the heat if they have to increase fuel efficiency. What I see as a better driving force in biofuel, as Shell and other gas providers have already started using ethanol, is a new technology called fuel cells, which has been shown off by Toyota at CES this year. So that technology reduces the charging time. So Toyota is promoting this fuel cell technology, which uses hydrogen and oxygen molecules. So it uses a cheap form of both, and it mixes them together, and then it makes a combustion reaction, and it makes water. So the best thing about this is that it can be previous technology charging time used to be a lot more, but now it can be charged within 3 to 5 minutes. Isn't that good? And it also can be refueled at 20 stations found in the United States. It's kind of similar to Tesla, if you guys know that. So I look forward to seeing this technology, because then we can finally have cars with not as much fuel emissions, because these cars only emit water weight. They don't cause any global warming. That sort of effect is not there, such as, well, with carbon, that's obviously there. So I look forward to seeing what happens with this technology. Thank you, guys. Toyota also promises that this vehicle will drive 500 kilometers before needing another recharge. Fuel cells are much more promising as they produce only water vapor and therefore have zero emissions. Guys, thanks for watching this episode of CTheLatest. It's been deep here, and I will catch you next time. If you like this channel, please feel free to subscribe, and I will catch you later. Thanks, guys. Hi guys, just a quick message. I'll be posting 2 videos every week for tech, gaming, and science. Thanks for watching.